Levack Goz, and joining us, you may have seen him in the ring at the Turning Stone Casino doing all the things in there. You may remember him from his time at ESPN Chicago, and he's all over the place covering boxing across the country. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at SBRFlores. Ray Flores joins us, and Ray, your reaction this past weekend when you heard by unanimous decision and knew Jeff Horn defeats Manny Pacquiao, your reaction at the end of that fight?
I was shocked. I was saddened. But I hate to say it, guys, I wasn't surprised because it just happens to where when you are a world champion and you're fighting in an opponent's backyard, sometimes those things happen. I have seen worse decisions during the course of the past several years, and I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked.
I guess the simple question is this now. Why is this still a thing? I mean, it's been 2017. I would get it if boxing fans are outraged. They want to change, but it hasn't changed. Why is this continuing to happen?
Well, look, here it is. It's human error, guys. And I have been around many judges during the course because I work for Premier Boxing Champions as the ring announcer, one of the commentators. And where judges sit, judges can't see every angle. So I think on world title fights, they need to have a monitor in front of them. That way they can look in case they can't see a particular vantage point. Plus, as I mentioned, the fact that Manny was fighting in Australia in front of 50,000 people, if you're a judge and they're on the opposite side of the ring and you're not seeing all the punches, when the crowd is roaring and going crazy for someone like Jeff Horn, who's the aggressor, then you might think indirectly in your mind, oh, wow, he's landing punches. He's being more the aggressor. He's taking it to Pacquiao. Even though that wasn't the case, it appears on the surface as if that was transpiring. So it's human error. And look, that's not the worst decision I've seen over the past couple of years. We have seen when people say, oh, well, this is what makes boxing so corrupt or whatever, this and that. When the Nashville Predators scored during the Game 6, the first goal, and it was disallowed after clearly it was a goal, are people saying, I'm not going to watch the NHL anymore? When there are terrible calls in the NFL, are people turning their backs on the NFL? Absolutely not. It happens in sports. It's not right. It's not justified. There needs to be amendments, but those things happen. Manny rolled the dice when he went to Australia to fight somebody in his backyard.
Our boxing insider, Ray Flores, joins us here on the phone lines on 104.5 The Team. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at SBRFlores. So we see a big-time fight for free on ESPN. Social media was lighting up with tweets and back and forth and things like this. And you pointed out that fans, even though there was an outrage at the end, it doesn't mean they're going to stop watching boxing. Do you feel like it was still a positive night for boxing and for ESPN with all this coverage on the sport from over the weekend?
Yeah, I thought it was a fine night for fights. I mean, look, the fight was entertaining. People were talking about it. But here's my problem, guys. Here's my big problem when it came to Saturday night's telecast, is they were saying, oh, boxing's back on free TV, et cetera, et cetera. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold the phone. 2 years ago, in March of 2015, Keith Thurman fought Robert Guerrero on NBC on free TV. Deontay Wilder's defended his world title, PBC on Fox, 2 or 3 times. So boxing has been back on free TV because of PBC for over 2 years. It just didn't happen at all. It's back on free TV. I was at the Staples Center when Santa Cruz fought Morales. I actually did that fight with Joe Testore and Teddy Atlas. So boxing has been back on free TV, guys. Where is this thought process coming from? I was like, what are you talking about? Do we need a history lesson here or what?
It's marketing 101. If you tell people certain things over and over, they'll eventually start believing it. I don't know how many times that you and I have been at the Turning Stone, whether it be a Friday night fight special or something else where, wait a second, isn't this on ESPN tonight? I guess people forget certain things that happen. It's our guy, Ray Flores, joining us on the phone lines on 104.5 The Team.
Ray, after the loss, what's the future for Manny Pacquiao as far as boxing goes?
Well, here's the thing. After I was reading the post-fight press conference comments from Bob Arum, and he didn't dispute it that much. And knowing the businessman that Top Rank and Bob Arum is, they're probably thinking rematch. Because where's Jeff Horn going to go? Is he going to defend? Is he going to unify the division against Errol Spence? Guys, he gets wiped. He's going to fight Keith Thurman. He gets crushed. He's going to fight Danny Garcia. See you later, the world title. He's going to fight Manny Pacquiao again. The question is, where does it happen? Guys, in my opinion, what they should have done, and I know that it was 50,000 people in Australian TV, and it was a big money grab. But here's the deal. Manny Pacquiao has made quite a bit of money for Top Rank, and they both made good money for each other. But what you do is, and I don't even know if this is feasible, but fights have happened in the Philippines before. You take Manny to the Philippines. You give him another chance at Jeff Horn. You say, okay, we came to your backyard. Now you got to go to Manny's backyard. The Philippines do 100,000 people. Manny should win the title there and say, okay, Manny, now right off into the sunset. That's what they should do. If Jeff Horn fights anybody in the top 5, he gets beaten. Fight Manny Pacquiao again, get paid $1.5 million guaranteed instead of the $500,000 plus a cut of the gate, and then everyone's happy.
I was getting chills just thinking about having Manny Pacquiao walk out in the Philippines for a fight. It would be wild. We thought the ovation in Australia was good for Horn. That would be a sight to see Manny Pacquiao in the Philippines. Ray Flores joining us here on the phone lines on 104.5 The Team. And leading into the fight, there was talk of, okay, if Pacquiao wins, maybe we see Mayweather Pacquiao 2. Horn at the end of his victory calls out Floyd Mayweather with the walker and everything else. There is no chance we see either of these guys fighting Floyd Mayweather in the future, is there?
If Manny Pacquiao had beaten Jeff Horn, possibly. Again, I've said this many times. I think I've said it on your show as well. Floyd Mayweather is at the point where he can do whatever he wants because he is the best pound-for-pound fighter. He's the highest-grossing pay-per-view star in history in combat sports. Floyd can do whatever he wants. If Floyd wanted to fight the Burger King guy, then he could fight the Burger King guy. So whatever Floyd wants to do, it happens. I think more or less, it all depends on what happens with Conor McGregor. He's going to go out there and blast him out. But then does Floyd still have the itch to fight? Does Floyd want another challenge against, if Manny defeats Jeff Horn? I think that fight with Floyd and Manny, number 2, I think it's off the table now, based on the fact that Manny lost to Jeff Horn. And honestly, guys, Manny didn't look of the old Manny even 2 years ago when he fought Floyd. So I don't think we see it again. But if Floyd wants it to happen again, it will transpire. But the bottom line is whatever Floyd wants, Floyd gets. And you know what, guys? He's earned that right.
He's not fighting the Burger King guy. He may not be fighting Pacquiao. He may not be fighting Justin Bieber, but he is fighting Conor McGregor. In about a month and a half now, we'll see the fight, Mayweather versus McGregor. What do you think happens in that bout in late August?
I tell you what, guys, it is going to be a spectacle. It is going to be like a rock concert and a fight all into one. The amount of electricity from those that I know in Las Vegas say that the rooms are going at a rapid pace. Everyone is getting geared up for what will arguably, in my opinion, will be the biggest prize fight in history. You have 2 of the most marketable names in the past 25 years going head-to-head. And you know what, guys? I think it'll be an interesting matchup because, look, what we saw on Saturday, people say, well, it was an egregious decision. But if the fight goes to the scorecards, who knows what can happen? So if you're Floyd, I got to take this guy out. And a very aggressive Floyd Mayweather is a dangerous Floyd Mayweather. Floyd's already dangerous as it is. But I don't think you can play around with the decision either way on either guy's standpoint. So Conor's got to be aggressive and take the fight to Floyd, and Floyd will likely find the openings. I think it's going to be a lot more compelling than what people think because Conor is so unorthodox, and Floyd is a master defensive fighter and one of the sharpest counterpunchers you will find in boxing history. So all of that coupled in with the fact that it is going to be a wild atmosphere in Las Vegas, and I don't know who Floyd's going to come out with, who's Conor going to come out with, the fact that they're both in amazing shape. Guys, I'm excited. I'm counting down the days to August 26th.
August 26th, I know I'm counting them down as well. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at SBR Flores. He's covering boxing all around the country. And next time he's in upstate New York, we're going to make sure maybe he hangs out with us at the Turning Stone. He is Ray Flores. Ray, appreciate your time, man. As always, looking forward to catching up again in the future.
Guys, always a pleasure. Hope you can turn in a PBC on Fox next Saturday, July 15th. We got Omar Figueroa, Robert Guerrero, big night on Fox from Nassau Coliseum. in New York. So very excited about that.